a new topic and it is very interesting, that is concentration of the calcium ion in extracellular fluid and the cardiac muscle contraction. So this is in continuation of Physiology Made Easy, lecture 7. This is the lecture 7. Now we must know a little bit about the physiological anatomy. And what is that? That invagination, there is a invagination of surface membrane which form T-tubule, and that occur at the Z line. So the mammalian ventricular myocytes have both transverse and longitudinal element of the tubule, and they are rich in many proteins which is responsible for excitation contraction coupling. But the atrial cells, Purkinje cells, they do not have. So we must know first thing that T-tubule is not a simple invagination. They play important role in excitation contraction coupling. Second, we must know that the transverse tubule are highly branched in cardiac muscle and the diameter is 5 times more. In this slide, we will tell you that T-tubule and the L-type tubules. There are two types of the tubules which we already know. T-tubule regulate the voltage gated L-type calcium channels, that is LTCCS. L-type calcium channels, they are long-lasting effect, and calcium channels, they open only at high voltage. They are rich in, so the T-tubule, they are rich in one type of the protein and act as a receptor, that is DHPR receptors, that is dihydropyridine receptors. So in detail, by this diagram I will show you there are two types of the calcium channels. One is T-type, second is L-type. So first, we must understand this is the sarcolemma, that is the membrane of myocyte, ventricular myocyte. Here in the red you will find there is a one channel, that is T-type calcium channels. So it is communicate the ECF to the interstitium, or you can say interstitium of myocyte to the interior of the myocyte. So there is a direct communication of the ECF through this channel, that is T-type. Now this is rich in L-type, you can say ion channels, or you can say one type of the protein mucopolysaccharide, that is DHPR, that is dihydropyridine receptors. Now this is the T-type calcium channels activate another type of the receptor, that is known as ryanodine receptors. Ryanodine receptors, they are present in sarcoplasmic reticulum. So the ryanodine receptors, they are present in sarcoplasmic reticulum. So once there is depolarization of this membrane, opening of, or you can say activation of the T-type calcium channels, DHPR, they get senses of the depolarization. SAND is response to the ryanodine receptors which are present in the sarcoplasmic reticulum, and the calcium is released. and there is contraction. It will excite the excitation contraction coupling. So the duration of the calcium pulse in skeletal muscle is only 1/20th of a second, while in heart muscle it is 1/3 of a second. The sarcoplasmic reticulum is less well developed in cardiac muscle than the skeletal muscle. So it will not store the calcium to provide full contraction. So it is not a storage house because the sarcoplasmic reticulum of the cardiac muscle is not very well developed. So the T-tubule of the cardiac muscle, the diameter is 5 times more than the skeletal muscle. So which means that volume is 25 times is greater than the skeletal one. So it is more embedded with a mucopolysaccharide which are electronegatively charged and has the capability to bind with calcium ions which are readily available when there is depolarization or readily available to diffuse inside the cardiac muscle fiber whenever there is action potential. Now next slide is now very clear by this diagram that this is extracellular fluid, sarcolemma, T-tubule, and it is rich in DHPR, dihydropyridine receptors. Now once it senses that there is a depolarization, it allows calcium to go inside, which is it will initiate another receptor, that is ryanodine receptors, which is present in sarcoplasmic reticulum. So they are, because of its proximity, then whenever there is a depolarization, calcium enters and it senses, and it will also activate ryanodine receptor, and what it will do, it after opening, calcium which is stored in the sarcoplasmic reticulum is enter into the cytoplasm or sarcoplasm of myocyte. This is the contraction. But during relaxation, what you will find, it enters into the sarcoplasmic reticulum through ATP. So the calcium ATPase channels, they get activated and it requires the energy. So the relaxation is also an active process because it requires energy. It is not a phenomena. In this picture, it is very clear that it is 5 times more than the diameter is 5 times more than the skeletal T-tubule. Secondly, it is present in the Z line, and between the two Z line it is a sarcomere. Here you will find diet is formed. So here you will find it is branched, more diameter, volume is also more richly embedded with mucopolysaccharide, and that is the DHPR receptors. They are in contact with the sarcoplasmic reticulum and they activate the ryanodine receptor. This is in skeletal muscle. Here you will find T-tubule, and this T-tubule directly in contact with this, that is ryanodine receptors. So the action, there are two actions, either by the T-tubule mainly or by the L-tubule. So action potential which is spread to the interior of the cardiac muscle is just like the skeletal muscle. So there is no need of telling you the excitation contraction coupling, but you can go through this. The same here, explained here also, action potential and excitation contraction coupling. Now, what is the difference? Why there is a more important T-tubule in cardiac muscle and not important in skeletal muscle? That in skeletal muscle, that we will find there is a small or slow calcium influx through the skeletal muscle, and it is DHPR receptor is not significant during single action potential. So during single action potential, only very small amount of calcium they enter into the muscle, skeletal muscle cell. But when during tetanus process, or you can say when the frequency or rate of stimulation is much higher, say 50 to 100 Hz, then there is a sustained contraction. And in that case, during the tetanic condition, calcium ions entry is added more and more. So concentration of calcium is now more. It will modulate intracellular calcium release from sarcoplasmic reticulum. So that is the one way, that is T-tubule. T-tubule is not very much effective in skeletal muscle. Now, another way we can explain, the second way of explanation is that excitation in cardiac muscle is quite different, because the diffusion of the calcium ion can occur directly into the sarcoplasm from the T-tubule themselves. So this is important in cardiac muscle. So we can assume that T-tubule has larger diameter, richly supplied with the DHPR receptors. So there must be a role of calcium in the contraction of cardiac muscle. So when the heart is placed in a calcium-free solution, then heart stop beating. Another way, the strength of contraction of the cardiac muscle depends to a great extent on the concentration of the calcium ions in the extracellular fluid, but it is independent in skeletal muscle. The reason I had told you, but I will explain you again. Why the heart stopped beating while placed in a calcium-free solution? The answer is, there is opening of the T-tubule on either side, extracellular fluid as well as in sarcoplasm. So there is a direct role of calcium in the contraction of